Yes, Jason, I'm back, my man. How you doing? My name's Ryan Clifford, and it's a Celtic unrestricted view. It's still -9 in Glasgow. We're through in our cup, Jason. Happy days again, mate. All positive once again. Um, Probably a few talking points throughout the game and the weekend, mate. Probably the most important would be the park. I would say the park was shocking. But that will obviously be more into pod as we go, mate. But all positive once again, mate. Another final for Celtic and happy days, mate. Hope you had a good weekend as well, mate, and hope you're okay.
Right, mate. Guys, good to be on. Very positive again. Another cup final. It's just becoming like second nature for us. Really getting into cup finals. There was a time where we went to Hampden and we couldn't get a result. But I think that sort of hoodoo is gone. But it's been a very quiet weekend, mate. It's a typical January weekend. The pitch yesterday was absolutely disgraceful for a national stadium park, to be honest with you. The conditions yesterday weren't really that great, but we got through. We got the result into another final.
Like you say, mate, I think we may as well get the part topic out the way, mate, because it's been a bit of a topic, mate, since yesterday. I was actually really glad that we played first for a change, because sometimes we're actually playing on a Sunday, which obviously knackers the park, and it just normally we're the ones that play on a Sunday. I don't like it. I'd rather play a Saturday, hopefully win and get out of the way. Having to wait to the second game, and sometimes it just drags on a bit. So, but I did think that the park, mate, for the product for the game, it was just you're trying to promote your game. You want the best players in Scotland, i.e. Celtic, Rangers. They're the two best teams. But on us yesterday, you're wanting us to guys like Jota, McGregor, Hatate, guys to showcase our skills. And then when the puck cuts up after 10, 15 minutes, you're only going to get a bog battle on the park. You're not going to get Jota. Obviously, Jota did do some few fancy skills and stuff, but you're not really going to get Jota flying down the wing, Juranovic overlapping them, and because the park holds up and the ball just wasn't holding up. Like, I was just the start of the game. I was thinking, right, this isn't going to hold up like the way it was, right? And it was. First 10, 15 minutes, the ball was fine. And then eventually, man, the ball was just gone. The park, I don't know, I think that was obviously because of how wet it was as well, right? But the state of the park, now bear in mind, we're sitting away up at the back of the stadium, and you can see how bad it is. So imagine being on the park. It just looked to me like it was just, especially the second half, I thought they were struggling to fully play football. Like, heavy legs. I think Maeda, I don't know if it's a hamstring he's got. I don't know what happened to him. I've not heard any news on him. I don't know exactly why he went off, but
I think you've seen it as well with the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, Ryan, with Starfelt. He was trying to play a few of the short passes and he couldn't, and they were going short and he had to recover. Bernabei got caught a few times as well. People were saying that he wasn't playing that well, but I think it was a pitch, because obviously he's like, he's trying to make a run and all that, and the ball wouldn't go. So I think it was a pitch. Aye.
It's actually strange how the park was working, but like you says, the wee short passes were holding up, but the longer passes were just skidding out the park, and I was like, this just doesn't make sense. Like you're saying, Starfelt was trying to pass the ball, it was getting held up. Bernabei was passing it, it was getting held up. But then you were hitting a long pass, and the ball was just drilling out the park. You just couldn't make it up. It was all over the place. I'm really hoping, Jason, for the final in 26. You're getting two Scotland's biggest teams going toe to toe for a final, for the best product on the day, the players to show up to their best ability. They've got to make the park better. If that's I'm up before then, or if it's doing different techniques to it, I don't know what they need to do, because I'm not a groundsman. But that park just played on, 10 times a year roughly, something like that, 12 times a year, if that. And that's just it. You've got amateur teams and the Lowland League teams, Bolton Division teams in Scotland getting better pitches than that, and they're getting played on every single week. I don't understand how it's so bad. Like, what are they feeding the park with? Like, what are they putting on it? What type of grass is it? Is it? I don't know what it is they're doing. I mean, what type of grass is it? Is it for a foreign country? Because obviously Celtic got that, didn't they?
They've got that hybrid, haven't they?
Celtic hybrid park, so that was also brought on as well, and I'm sure that got lifted up as well, because that eventually didn't.
Well,
it was Rodgers,
see what you're saying about Celtic's pitch.
Mm-hmm.
See, the last time we played, I thought it looked a bit pale. It looked a bit off. It didn't look as if it was the way that it should have been. So I don't know if they've maybe relayed that Celtic pitch in the World Cup, because it looked as if it was a bit weird compared to what it usually was. Do you know what I mean? But again, with that pitch yesterday, it's as if it was laid on Friday night, and it's just no needed, and it's just coming back up. I mean, for a national stadium, it's really embarrassing. And you know, as you say, we've got the cup final next month. There's going to be millions of people watching that because it's Celtic and Rangers, and it's worrying because I don't know how they're going to fix that in time. I really don't. And you've got international games coming up and all. You know, it's, as you say, we're trying to promote our game and all that. And you don't even look doing in England when they're playing it, when the playoffs are like League One and League Two on that Wembley pitch. That Wembley pitch is immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if they need to put a sheet over it or whatever, but whatever they're doing, it's not working, because Hampden a few years ago was like that, and they seem to have fixed it, but it's went back to the way it was, where the park's just turning, and it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
I just thought that as the game went on, it got worse. And you've got guys like in your team like Jota, and they're trying to put a product on the park for the fans and themselves and the team to entertain the crowd, and you can't do it when the park's like that. At the start of the game, it didn't look too bad, but as the game went on, it did cut up, and it does ruin the game as a spectacle. It does ruin it. But like you say, mate, in our final, I'll start with maybe a bit of negative. I don't know if people might think I'm trying to pull at negatives, Jason, but especially in the first half, I thought defensively in terms of winning the first balls, I thought we were quite poor. Command got quite ahead of us a few of the first balls in the box, and the 2 or 3 wee snippets in the first half in the box. And again, I don't know if that's me just trying to pick out things to talk about, Jason, but I did think that for me, well, we need to do better in that department in terms of winning the first balls, because I thought Command in the first half, especially, won quite a high balls in the box, and they were there first. Albeit we were getting the second balls and taking the ball away, and that's obviously the main battle, that nothing happened from it. But you can't keep giving teams these first and second digs, because eventually one ball came in. There was 1 or 2 wee feeders in the first half as well. So I don't want that to start creeping into a game, because like I said, in the league we've not had the best of clean sheet records the last kind of maybe 9 to 10 weeks. We've conceded a few goals, so but a clean sheet yesterday, obviously, so that's positive as well. But I just think that, I don't know if you agree with me, Jason, or if I'm maybe trying to pick out negatives, but I did think that some of the cross balls into the box from corners and balls in the box, I thought we were second to that, and for me that we should be a bit more demanding than that in the box.
No, I think I agree. That boy that was up front, he was a big bit of boy. He was getting in sort of start. I don't think it's Carter Vickers. I think it's more Starfelt. What Starfelt likes to play football, but when he's got a big guy up against him, he kind of gets a wee bit intimidated. And I think if he was a big bit of boy, and he was sort of putting his weight about a wee bit, and probably there's maybe a wee certain bit of nervousness about us for some reason. But I don't know if that was because of the pitch or whatever. But it was just. The first half especially, we weren't looking as solid as we were. But you know, I say that after we've got a clean sheet, so you might be like, you're nitpicking, but we call it how we see it, and that's how I've seen it. And I do agree with you with we've conceded a lot more goals this year. We're still, don't get me wrong, I think Starfelt and Carter Vickers are brilliant together. They understand, but if it's a physical defender up in, the struggle. I don't know if they struggle, but Starfelt certainly struggles. because he likes to get down and play football and all that. But no, I would agree with you on that one, mate. I
did think again, Starfelt was getting a bit of drip yesterday during the game and after it, and I seen some kind of media. I think Hugh Evans was kind of slaughtering them on Clyde, and I can see it to a certain degree because I didn't think he played the best. I actually thought Kilmarnock were quite smart. They were actually leaving Starfelt on the ball, trying to pick passes in the ball sometimes. But see, if you look at his record, is it 39 games or whatever it is? 30, I think 39 must be.
It's the equivalent to a full season when they've not been beat.
You can't pick too much flaws in it, but I think if Starfelt keeps playing like that, if that happens again and again, then fans will be calling for maybe Kobayashi to come in and get a game. But you can't really criticise him much. Well, I can't, because I'm not going to criticise him too much because was it 39 games in a row or something like that? They've started together. They've no lost a game. So on your stats wise, he's playing well. So you can't really. For me anyway, I'm not going to sit here and slaughter Starfelt. I didn't think he played the best, made a few mistakes, but I've no qualms with Starfelt. I think he's a decent defender. I think he's done well with Vickers. The thing I like with they two is they cover each other. So if Starfelt's had a wee bit of a scare, Vickers is there, and Vickers doesn't really do it often, but when he does, then Starfelt's there. But I think a guy who mixed opinions again, I thought was Bernaby. Didn't think he played too well, but one bad game and then fans are saying that's him done now. Not good enough. You've got to give him a chance. He's going to take time. He's came from a foreign country. Some guys hit it off right away, some don't. Ange has already basically says that he's been here to develop basically first. He's not going to be a starter with Taylor there. You all know my thing with Taylor. I thought Taylor was good enough, but for me at the time he wasn't. And look at him now. Probably you're wanting him to play left back now, but I've still no qualms about Burnley playing left back. I still think he's got to play to develop. If he's going to be sitting on the bench and no play, he's not going to improve. He might improve in training a wee bit, but you know yourself, Jason, as a football player, you need to play. And be sitting on the bench and no playing, you're going to get a bit rusty. You're going to get a bit on the park, so you need to play. But he's got a chance now in the next 2 or 3 weeks with Taylor injured to obviously get more minutes and improve. But you've got to see how you call it. I'm not going to sit here and criticise him too much, but I didn't think he played well, Jason. Like I said to my old man at the game, I did think that if it was going to be a mistake in the game, it was going to come through Bernaby or Starfelt. I thought that was where it was going to come. Because apart from that, Kilmarnock had a few chances, had wee snippets here and there, but it was always going to be down to our downfall. I know we'll talk about 2 or 3 things with the VRs that goes on, but people are going to testify against. But I just think maybe, again, I was maybe quick to shut down Greg Taylor, but for me, Greg Taylor didn't play well for a while. But then eventually, this year, he's just been unbelievable. You can't question him this season. But who's to say that will happen to Bernaby? Next year, he could be this guy that I think he is. The £3.5 million signing is going to be a flying machine. For me, I think Jason, the way he plays is he's direct and he's more going forward than he is defensively. So maybe when we spoke to Sarah the other night, me and JP, he basically says that he might actually be better going forward, i.e. being either a left winger or a left fullback, but more going forward and not defensively. But at Celtic, you've got to do both. You can't just do one. So I still think he's going to come good. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan. And what I see for Bernaby, I think he's decent. But yesterday, you've got to see how you call it, mate. And I didn't think he played too well.
Nah, I don't think he played too well. But I think we need to remember that he's only 21 or 22. He's came from a different country. You know, he came from Argentina. He's over here playing in, probably never played in conditions like that before either, by the way, where a pitch is being like that in the rain. But I think we need to give the guy, we need to give the boy time, because I do think he'll come good. I mean, as you say, look at Greg Taylor, especially under Neil Lennon. He was absolutely. I sat here and I didn't rate him at all. I was very much like you. and you know, he's settled into this, and he's look at him now. Do you know what I mean? So I think that people are very, very quick to judge. Do you know what I mean? But who would they rather play at left back when Taylor's injured? Bernaby or Liam Scales? That's who he's potentially got. That your options are going to be, because Scales is going to come back. And for me, Bernaby is a far better player than Liam Scales. I just think some of the fan base is very, very quick to judge. But I do think I'm with you. I think given the time, and look, you don't pay £3.5 million for a guy that isn't good. I don't think. And he's going to get a run in the team. And yesterday he didn't play that well, but he's played but maybe 6 or 7 games, and out of the 6 or 7 games, he's had probably 1 or 2 bad games. I think that's all right, to be honest.
I don't think he's played too bad, mate. Anytime he's played, I think was it the game against Kilmarnock? No, was it? What game was it? He came on. He played really well. Hibs, sorry, say it like Hibs. And they kind of changed the dynamic of the game. They came on and done well. But like you says, I think it's the cliche in football, mate. You don't look good as your last game, so people will judge him on his last game now. So, but a wee comment, mate, that I think we can obviously speak about. Surprised Juranovic started. On Juranovic, for me, the fact they started, again, that tells me that there's no deal ready to go. Again, I could be wrong, it could be away tomorrow, but the fact that he started, people might say that I may be wrong in this as well, Jason, but this is just my observation from it. The fact they started yesterday, yes, Johnson played against Rangers, and obviously the last 2 or 3 games he's played, and he's been brilliant, by the way. He's no put a fit wrong. But the fact that it's a semi-final, he's fully fit, he's put him in right back, he's played 90 minutes, for me, tells you that he still thinks Juranovic is Celtic's main right back. I might be wrong, but the fact that he's put him in a semi-final, he's fully fit now, and there's rumours about maybe going, but he's put him in. I don't think that people might think that's rotational, but I even said to my dad yesterday, I think that's because he still feels that he's the main right back.
Yep.
And I still think until he goes, I think he will be a main right back, but you can't criticise Johnson. Johnson's been brilliant since he's come in, so it's going to be the situation where, again, if Kyogo plays up front or Giakoumakis, you're no bothered. If Johnson plays or Juranovic plays, you're no bothered. If Vickers plays, or the Starfelt and Jens comes in and plays against the Vickers, you're not really bothered because Jens is all right. So you're getting to that stage for me with Juranovic and Johnson. If Juranovic is fit and plays, brilliant. If Johnson plays, then you're happy as well. So I'm happy medium with two of them. I'm no bothered who plays, but for me, I thought Juranovic was really good yesterday. I thought he turned up, he showed up. He showed he's still different class. A lot of fans, just shows you Ibrox get my way. I prefer Ralston anyway. He's not good enough. He sees in the cloud cuckoo land. And then yesterday he puts out a good performance. Oh, he played well, by the way. Maybe he wants to stay. You can't change your mind within the space of 10 days to a week. You can't just go, he doesn't want to be here. Oh, he played well yesterday. Maybe he's going to stay and I'll keep him now. You can't you either want him to go, you're happy for him to go, or you want him to stay and be here. If he goes, you go, right, JJ, thanks for being brilliant for us. You've won his a double last year, hopefully more this year, if he doesn't go before January. Thanks for your efforts. You're brilliant for us. You'll get us a few quid. Good luck and best wishes. And then the rest, I prefer Ralston anyway. I prefer Johnson. For me, he's the best right back we've got. I think Johnson's very good. I know some people might think Johnson's going to come in and be better than him, but I think if Juranovic is still here, it's just my opinion, I think he's still the right back. But like I say to you, I think they're going to rotate him. I don't think it'll be Juranovic 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I think there'll maybe be 2 or 3 games each because, like we spoke about, he's no signed Johnson for any reason. So is that to build him up to the summer before JJ goes away? Or is it because in January he is gone?
Well, I'm a believer of if he was going, he wouldn't have played him yesterday. If there was a deal there and if Juranovic had accepted another deal with another club, he wouldn't have played him yesterday because he knows that his seed wouldn't be anyway. I don't think Ange would have put him into that game. I thought he was different gravy yesterday. I thought he was brilliant. He showed exactly why he got to World Cup semi-final. He absolutely bossed it. I agree with you on him and George. I think it'll be a rotational thing, but I think Ange probably did bring George in because I think he thought that JJ was maybe going to go, but I honestly don't think he's going to go in this window. I'm actually going to put my neck in the line, right? I think, see if they don't go in the January transfer window, I think the two of them will sign a contract after the January transfer window. In my opinion, because even with Giakoumakis as well yesterday, it didn't look like a player that was in any rush to get away. Do you know what I mean? I do believe that if there was a deal there, that I said they could have accepted a deal. There is no way that Juranovic would have played yesterday.
No,
in my opinion, and it was. It didn't look as if he was. He didn't play as if he was unhappy anyway. I think with the game at Ibrox, I don't think he was fit. I think he maybe had that bug thing was going about, and he was played at left back, and I don't think he wasn't that fit. But no, he was really, really good yesterday. I said that to my dad that I watched it with my dad, and I said he was brilliant yesterday. Created so much. I really like him, but I'd be very surprised if he goes in this window. To be honest,
I think the longer it drags on, the longer you're maybe hopeful that he stays. Again, people might call me crazy and they might call me a madman, but I know they were quoting £7 million for Juranovic. For me, I can't see that, right? But see if that was the case, I think he's still got 3 or 4 years left in his deal, 3.5 years, whatever, roughly in his deal. I would honestly rather sell Ralston and keep him for his 3 years than take £7 million from him. No, I know people are going to think, oh Ryan, but you're trebling your money, and I get that, but £7 million, his left leg, his right leg, that's ridiculous. See if it's like £15 million or something, do you know what? Look, okay, maybe 12 at a push, right? But I'm wanting £15-20 million from him. Like you say, he's just came to the final of the World Cup. He's played every game. He was brilliant. A lot of people were praising him. He had Vinicius Junior in his back pocket, but yet because he's one bad game at Ibrox, get him away. He's not want to be here anymore. Just calm down a bit, man. Just sometimes we need to. Listen, I used to be the same. I maybe still are the same, but sometimes we need to calm down about things. And another topic is obviously Giakoumakis, as you mentioned, mate. I was happy he got a goal from just for his own personal sake, mate. That's obviously a wee weight on his shoulder. The fact he's not scored in a few weeks, and again, maybe a tap in, but you've got to be there to score goals. So for me, I don't want him to go. I've said for day one, I don't see any reason why Celtic want to sell him, unless he has said to the club behind closed doors, look, I want a move because I'm not getting a new deal, or I'm not getting this, or whatever he's been obviously asked for, etc., or his agents asked for. See, in terms of, for me, he's a goal scorer, Jason, right? And goal scorers are hard to come by. I know he's maybe only got 7 or 8 this season or whatever it is, right? But you can't really do much when you're getting 10-15 minutes every game, Jason. I say the exact same for Kyogo, Barry. This isn't just because you're Giakoumakis. See if Kyogo's only getting 10-15 minutes every game, you might only get 4 or 5 touches in it on the park. It's very hard to get.
It takes you about 10 minutes to get into a game when you come off the bench.
If you're not it's already saying you're getting minutes on the park, right? But see if you've not had a chance on the park, how can you actually try and add to your tally? You can't. I don't want him to go because I think him and Kyogo are very good options, especially in Scotland. Do I think we need we're not going to get a top draw forward because of the money we pay in Scotland. But for Champions League level, I think we need to sign, I know we won't do it, but go out and just sign an Edward, £9-10 million, just go and do it. just if we can, if the opportunity opens up to sign somebody like that and it's doable, I think we need somebody to come in and help them to take us into Europe, as in hopefully third place in the group stages, etc. Just improve in Europe. So for me, I think Giakoumakis is a goal scorer, and I think they're very hard to come by. You've seen yourselves, Jason. We've signed strikers in the past. Guys like Bangura, Bayo, even Pukki came in at the time. Pukki came in, just didn't happen for him. Guys like Kamara, Ayetis, people give Ayeti a lot of stick. Didn't have the best of times here. I know he's only on loan still, but scored a few goals here and there.
Ayeti scored 6 and 6, and then just didn't kick on.
For me, the striker is the hardest. For me, people maybe say I'm biased because I was one myself, but I think it's the hardest to show them the puck, because if you don't score, you get absolutely criticised. You're not good enough. You can't score goals at this level, and you've had 10 games without a goal. But what I like about Andrews as well, you might not be scoring goals, but you're bringing other parts to the game. Like, even though Kyogo didn't play too well yesterday, right? No, that's harsh on me, man. You know, it didn't play well. He just wasn't in the game. I thought the game passed by him. But see, if you actually watch him closely, his movement's different class. He's just so effortless the way he moves. On that situation, I don't know what you think, but for me, you only contemplate selling Giakoumakis if you're bringing somebody else in. But even then, I don't want one guy in. I want two in. I know we've got two strikers in now, right? But you've got a cup competition still in the Scottish Cup. You've got a cup final and you've got a league. What I have is one of them get injured. I should live with one striker. I know my head I can play there, maybe a bad I can, but it's alright. You can cover for a few games, but longer term, are they going to be the guys to take the mantle? Albeit, by the way, my head has been superb, so I'm not saying he's no. So I think there's a bit of work behind the scenes with we do if we sell him, because for me, I would not be selling whatsoever. I'll say that now. I just would not be selling Giakoumakis for unless it's a handsome fee. Because at the end of the day, Jason, the club have got the power here. I had the players to say, I want this. But if the manager doesn't want to sell him, or you can just go, you know what? Just see you later. You sit in reserves and walk to your deal's done. That's what clubs do sometimes if you're not going to. But for Giakoumakis, Jason, I don't see that from right now. Every time I've seen him on the park, he's gave his all. Yes, albeit it looks a bit frustrated because maybe he's no starting, or he's maybe not getting the ball, or he's no scoring. But he wants to score goals, and all strikers are selfish. They want to score goals. People might go, oh, but he's not a team player, or maybe he's got to be a team player. But I thought when he came on yesterday, he was a nuisance. There was one that was came into him, chased it down and he tapped it. I was like, that's brilliant. Just it brings you so much difference in terms of stuff Kyle can do, i.e. the physical presence and the way he pushes people off the ball. But then Kyogo's different. His movement, some of his finishes. I think the two of them are totally different, and I'm never going to compare them, because I think Kyogo is obviously to Ange, maybe all-round ability. He's maybe the main man. But I think Giakoumakis, for me anyway, right? See if Giakoumakis starts on Wednesday, Kyogo can't be annoyed, because he's not really the last two. I know he scored at Ibrox, but before the game at Ibrox, the game passed by him until he scored. I even said to my dad, watch the game, I says, he's going to, I think I said to JP as well, the last podcast, if the Rangers game, fans are going to say, oh, he's not scoring against Rangers again, he's going to build up. All right, he scored, like, that's us all rosy now. But I do believe the two of them are brilliant. I want to sell any of them, especially obviously the talk about Giakoumakis. I would rather just bring somebody else in, because we don't know, obviously, Jason, what's gone behind closed doors. If Giakoumakis and his agent have said things, or Celtic are doing things, we don't know. We can only, you get bits of information, but you don't always verify information until it happens. I've said it in this previous pod, I would love the two to play up front again, because I know we've done it again. Was it Shakhtar? But Kyogo played maybe a 10, and he was going out wide to get the ball, and he was going out left. He was just running everywhere. But just obviously, I don't think he'll ever do that, Jason, because then he's got to go to a flat 4-4-2, and I don't see him doing that. But if you go a flat 4-4-2 with they two up front, I just think there's so many goals in the team. But
I should do.
But I don't know if that's just me wishful thinking, mate. But on Giakoumakis, mate, I want to sell him. See if we're talking £5-6 million. I know again I might sound stupid here because I wanted to make money. You've got to be a business. You've got to maybe sell when the iron's hot. But £6 million for Giakoumakis, when he's a top goal scorer last year, and just about nearly every time he starts a game, he contributes in some capacity. Would I be selling him for that? I know he's 28, etc. I get that. Might not be a selling value later on. But I think, for me anyway, I would at least leave it to the summer, because if there's another good 6 months, 5 months, and then you might get more money in the summer for him. So, but for me, if it was down to me, Jason, if I was a part of the board, or if I was Ange, which I'm no, I wouldn't be selling him, mate, to be honest with you.
No, I wouldn't be selling him. I think we would be very, very sorry to sell him. I really, really like him. I think he probably should have got more starts than what he has. But you don't know if he's maybe had a bit of a ding dong with hands behind the scenes, and he's been like, well, no, you can sit there until you get out of your mood or whatever it is. But I'm with you, when he comes on, he gives it 110%. I think maybe last year when Kyogo was out and he was scoring hat-tricks, he probably felt like he was the main man. And then now that Kyogo's got fit and he's probably got frustrated because he's not been playing every week. Listen, I get it. I've been there. But I don't believe he's pushing for a move. I think he probably feels that he should be getting a certain amount a week. And maybe said to go, well, you're only getting this week, and he's been like, well, blah blah blah. I don't think he doesn't look like he's an unhappy player, because he came on yesterday, and I agree with you, he was really, really good yesterday when he came on. They type of games, I think, your games against Kilmarnock, your Livingston, that are tall teams that have got that defend like that, they're made for Giakoumakis, because he bullies them, he creates a lot of space. And you know, people are saying he's not scored against Rangers, not that, but he scored in the Champions League. Kyogo never. Do you know what I mean? So there's another. I don't think we should sell. I think we would be very, very. Especially, I think if we sold him and didn't replace him, it would be.
For me, that'd be criminal.
It would be criminal. But I don't think. I mean, even the way yesterday, Ange was doing the after my coach and that were talking to him, and he never even hinted or saying that Giakoumakis was aware or gave it in a way to even hint that he was unhappy. It was, do you know what I mean? He's been asked on it a few times, and he's basically been. What I've took from it is that he's ready and available for selection. Do you know what I mean? And I think he probably might start him on Wednesday. If he doesn't start him on Wednesday, I think he'll definitely start him against McGreen and Morton at the weekend. As I say, I really, really like him. I think he's a really good player. Last year he sort of stepped up. He didn't go off the greatest of start. Again, a lot of people judged him because he missed a penalty. But you look at the goals he scored, there's two hat-tricks. You know, one is a game against Dundee when we were struggling. I really like him. And I think I think what you're saying, he's a different option. He's a goal scorer, and I think if we let him go, I think we would really, really regret it. I really do.
And a wee comment from Donny Boy 67. Bernabeu will be okay. He's had a rough start to life in a new country. That doesn't speak the same language. Players don't always hit the ground running, and some require more time to settle than others.
I agree with that.
Aye, mate, I think that's the gist of what we have spoke about in the past. Thanks for your comment, mate. No, I do believe it. That's the way I got from Seba as well when me and JP spoke to him. And it was the gist I got from Seba when I spoke to him at the start of the season. They will need time, etc. So I've no doubt Bernabeu will be good. Again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, but I like him and I think he will come good. But another guy who we speak about, Jason, this man here, Aaron Mooy, on his performance yesterday, I thought he was different class. I think you can see now that for me, I like to call some of the fans the boo boys. I think that some of the boo boys have had a wee bit of a rude awakening with him because he get absolutely slaughtered. Have some people on social media is no good enough. Why we get a guy from China and this and that. Like I said, if you do your due diligence, you look at stats, you look at how he's played in the past, down south, you look at reports for Australia, he's one of the better players. Seen the World Cup, even before he played in the World Cup, I had no doubt he would be a brilliant player. He wasn't fit at the time he came to us. Now he's just about fully fit. The only thing I would say lacks Jason maybe a bit of raw pace, but what he's no got pace down the stairs, he's got it up there. He's very intelligent. Some of the wee dinks he puts through, and I just rate him very highly. I'm not going to say that he's a starter of the week because you've got obviously O'Reilly, but he's playing very well. He's different class as well. Hatate, and obviously we'll talk about the captain soon. But I think Aaron Mooy was different gravy yesterday, mate, and I'm glad he's getting some recognition now for maybe some fans that didn't rate him. But again, I've done rate some players before. They've signed, but I've never on social media and slaughtered. Why be saying this guy's not good enough, etc. I'll go, do you know what? I might not rate him the now. I'm happy to give him time to Celtic and hopefully proves me wrong. So, but for me, Jason, for a free transfer, for an international, played in English Premier League experience, etc., what a sign in my opinion.
Mate, unbelievable. We all dream of a team of Aaron Mooys, mate, because he's phenomenal. He's just, as you say, he's a very, very clever footballer, mate. He's 2 or 3 moves ahead. I don't believe that he even steps out of second gear when he's playing up here, to be honest. For a free transfer, it's unbelievable. How, I mean, people say his age or that. I mean, he's only 31.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if he's old. Do you know what I mean? But I could watch him all day. He's mobile. He's never static. He's always moving. Do you know what I mean? He's quite strong as well. And his passing range is unbelievable. Again, a lot of fans judged him before they'd even seen him kick a ball. I think he's getting fitter and fitter each week as well, by the way. I think you noticed that. He is getting fitter each week. I do agree that he's probably not a starter every week. But we've got the luxury where we don't need to force players to play. We don't need to play them every week. We can afford to rest players here and there. Do you know what I mean? But now, I think since McGregor got injured and he got that run in the team, he's just went from strength to strength, and he's kind of made it really hard to be dropped. I actually think that he should have started at Ibrox, to be honest. I think it would have been a different game if he'd started at Ibrox. But I'm not going to criticise manager too much for that. But he's so powerful. He's a type of player. I think he grabs a game with the scruff of the neck. He makes things happen. And I think he can be a bit of a game changer as well. Because again, at Ibrox, he came on and he changed the game for me. He was just right at them. He's so powerful. And again, I really rate him. Listen, you don't play as long and down south for as long as he did if you're not a good footballer. And that World Cup, it was really, really good. And I really do rate him. I think he's very, very good.
No, me as well, mate. I've obviously got a comment as well from, where is it? Right, plunge. If GG decides to go, should bring in Kevin Nisbet as a third striker.
No.
For me, Kevin Nisbet's done well for Hibs considering his long injury. He looks a bit fitter, he looks stronger. He's a finisher, no doubt about that. But stepping up to Celtic is a different animal. You're playing at a higher level, better players. I think for me, if he came to Celtic, I think he'd be a squad player. You need squad players in your team, but you probably need to spend a few £1 million to get him for. In fact, does he know what a contract this winter summer?
Is it a contract this summer?
I can't remember, but just for talking to you anyway, if it was the now, you probably need to pay a bit of money for him. Don't know how much it would be, but for me, I think as much as I'd love Scottish talent to be in Scotland and us to sign Scottish players, etc., I think we can maybe do better than Nisbet, and that's no offence because he's far better than me. What I've done in my career, he's done well with Hibs. I think he's done very well with Dunfermline as well. He's no doubt he's a finisher, but can he step up to Celtic? In my opinion, maybe no. But again, with a better manager, better players, he could step it up. But as a third choice striker, would he be happy to be? Would somebody like Nisbet be happy to? Obviously, be happy to play with Celtic, but would you be happy with the first striker maybe only play 10, 12 games a year and maybe not get a sniff? Because if Kyogo's still here, and if it is Giakoumakis, for me, Giakoumakis and Kyogo's going to play a lot more than Nisbet. So, for me, would I sign him? No. Personally, no. I think we can get better, maybe overseas or elsewhere, maybe for maybe more proven experience in terms of maybe European football, etc. I know he's done well in Scotland, so again, that's just my opinion, but I think we need to scout better than Kevin Nisbet if it comes to us. Like Mr. Lowell says, Celtic should be a Champions League club, and we want to strive to be a club in Europe every season in the group stages, and one day you want to get back into the last 16 or progress, just dream on, try and progress further. When what happens, I don't know. I probably can't see it, but try and finishing better in the group stages next year, hopefully win the league. That's what you want to dream on. Can Kevin Nisbet push you to do that? Personally, me, no. But it's just my opinion, Jason. I appreciate the comment, Punch. But for me, I don't think it would be on my mind anyway, Jason, to sign him. But again, I'm the manager. Celtic could be looking at him, I don't know. But I don't think Nisbet would wouldn't be a signing, Jason, to fill me with enthusiasm.
No, I like him, but I think Hibs is his level in Scotland anyway. I don't think he would leave to come and sit and be third choice. I think he would be lucky to play 10 or 12 games a season. He maybe come off the bench for that, but I don't think he would start many. But I don't know, maybe you're right, different manager, bigger club and all that, he might step up there, but I don't know. It's one of those ones that would be, if we signed him, I'd be like that. What we're signing him for? Do you know what I mean? I don't think, as you're saying, if we want to progress in Europe, which is obviously the plan, he's no the player to date for us in Europe. We need not a bigger name. I don't know. We need somebody with more experience, maybe a wee bit older that's done it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that. I don't think it doesn't strike me as a Postecoglou player. It doesn't strike me as a Postecoglou player, but that's why I work in a warehouse and I don't work in football business. But I don't think that it wouldn't excite me. And I'm not saying he's a bad footballer. That's not what I'm saying, because he's done a lot better than me than my football career. But I just don't see him doing it in Celtic. Do you know what I mean?
Let's see, but you can only call it how you see it, and I think again he is a finisher. There's no doubt about that, and it is one of the hardest things to do in football. But would I be enthusiastic about him playing for Celtic? Probably no. If he was going to be the third or fourth choice striker, maybe he come in and play in the SPL, I'd maybe say yeah, maybe come in and play in Scotland. But I want guys to come in. I want us to sign team players. I know we need squad players, but I want to sign guys that are going to come in and try and challenge the guys that are there. But obviously, onto the Ludemol tablets, we have got this man. He's got the brown brogues and the suits all sorted for Hampden. I must admit that wee tweet was hilarious that Rangers put out. Absolutely brilliant. Bigger things to talk about than what was that?
What was the tweet? I've not seen that.
Oh, they put a tweet up. They've got a partnership with a company that does suits, and they were getting all measured up and all that, and brilliant.
So,
If
me.
no cringing at that, then I don't know how you're no cringing. But Ian Beale's got the Brown Brogues back in our final, so they're all happy. But on to the big topic, mate, which again we don't like talking about. Well, we try not to talk about, but we end up going to spiels, but we won't spiel it tonight. VAR. A lot of topic on the game yesterday and on bits and bobs about the game today. Played at Hampden. Obviously, starting off, Jason, the Kilmarnock supposedly penalty incident. I didn't see it because I was at the other end, so I didn't know what the kind of commotion was about it. I didn't see it, so when I look back at it, you probably could say it was a penalty, right? It could be given. It could be, right? The way Giakoumakis has done it, it's silly. It is silly. But the fact that I think the smart defenders made a bit of it, a bit more than what it was. But I do feel that it probably could have been a penalty, Jason. But you've got to look back at Giakoumakis at Celtic Park, Fletcher last week, Tannadice. There was another incident at Celtic Park. I think, Ibrox. Well, just about the same tackle happened, and there wasn't a penalty given. So why is it all of a sudden going to be given now? See, if there was no VR, there was no of these changing rules, you could probably say the referee used that, Jason. So did we get away with that one? Maybe get away with that one. But what about the in your box, the home ball? The home ball as well, by that as well, that get missed totally. Nobody spoke about that. I didn't really moan about the referee yesterday at all, much it yesterday. I didn't think the referee was bad. I didn't think there was much in the game for the referee really to obviously give. But I thought the referee was very, very lenient until he booked the boy Armstrong. He booked him 94 minutes. He kicked Jota off the park, and then he tried to kick Forrest. He tried to kick Burnaby, and he get booked 94 minutes. I think it was a collision with Giakoumakis, and he get booked as well. That's probably the only thing that I could say the referee maybe didn't do well. Was persistent fouling. It was only wee digs, but it was persistent with Jota, especially in Burnaby as well. So, but mate, I don't know how you feel about the decisions of the game yesterday, anything that flagged up for you, but the only decision I would say would have been that against us. But you could probably say it was a penalty. It's hard, mate, with these rules. You can't detect.
I know.
But for me, you probably could say, I think with borderline make away with one, mate.
When I watched it in the telly, when I first seen it, I was like, if that's up the other end, I'm screaming for it. So it's a penalty. But I think it evens itself out because I don't think that Hatati's goal's offside. My understanding is that and it's always been, my understanding is if it comes off an opposition player, then it's live again and you're no offside. You just need to look down in the Manchester derby where Rashford was running through and he didn't give it as offside. So some people saying he was interfering. I would probably say that one was more offside than what Hatati's was offside for. But I've got to be honest, I don't understand this handball really anymore. It's obviously changed since the World Cup because they're not giving out handballs. I don't understand it. With a handball, what is a handball? Is if your hands are here or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Because there was one in the Hearts game and all against St Mirren. Don't know if you've seen that. That's a handball.
Oh, that's a shocker.
Do you know what I mean? That's a handball. I think the referees are that they don't want to give stuff now because it's going to maybe in the wrong. We're going to get portrayed the wrong way, but I just the Hatati's one. I've watched it many times and happened at the Livingston game and all, where the Livingston players headed the ball and Abada scored and they gave it as offside. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
The only thing that I thought they gave offside was maybe in the first phase of play when Hatate was offside, right? See if it's been on that. Fair enough, but the game's been on for that. So without VAR, the referee's not getting that. So this is why.
This is what I'm saying, though. But if it's came off the Kilmarnock player, then it's live again.
That's the way I've always. That is why I've always known it. Unless I've known it wrong all my days playing football, that's what I've seen it as well. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. But then on to obviously the game today. Again, I only watched bits and bobs yet. I don't watch every game they play, but I've seen bits and bobs yet. But I did see that Ryan Kent basically punched Scales and nothing happened to him. And that, and you've got two officials, you've got a fourth official, you've got a referee, you've got VAR, and they can't see that. But then, let's be fair, it was probably a red card for the boy Stewart, right? I'm saying it was probably a red card, right? At the time, I didn't think it was. I thought, right, he's went in a bit rough here, but I didn't think it. I've seen a lot worse getting booked. A lot worse. I think it was the force. I think the referee's maybe seen the force, and he's went, right, that's too much. He sent him off. At the time, I didn't think it was a penalty. I still don't think it's a pure stonewaller, but I can see why it was given, because it was quite a lot of force. But the main one for me, how they missed the Ryan Kent one, was crazy. I don't know how they missed that. I'm sure they said on commentary, I think Stephen Craigan said, he's pushed him there. He's punched him in the face.
He's punched him in the face, aye. He done that, I remember, but he done that against Scott Brown, I know. And he get away with it then and all.
Nothing happened.
I don't know, mate, why that wasn't flagged up. Or why... mate, this VAR is just, honestly, I was saying that to my dad today, they just might have been it, because it's no getting used the way that it's meant to be, the way that it's getting used, and how the two linesmen haven't seen that, and the fourth official, and then the VAR have clearly seen that and just went, "Oh, it's fine," is beyond me. I think the only positive that I can possibly take from is that I think other clubs are now starting to realise that it's not getting used in the right way, because that was then, I'm sure Lee Johnson's mentioned it. I know that the Hearts manager has definitely mentioned it, and now obviously McInnes mentioned it yesterday, and I think obviously Jim Goodwin's mentioned it now as well. So I think that's probably a good thing that they're going to be like, well, this isn't getting used properly. For me, I'll stand by it. I think it only benefits one club in Scotland. And I'll probably put my wages on it that if the day had been in a team in a different colour of jersey, they're getting sent off the park. That's what I think. I can't work out why it's been brought up, because he knew he'd done something. You could just tell he'd that look of pure guilt on his face, and you knew he'd done something. But with the boy Stewart getting sent off, I can totally see. I think it's a red card. I think there was no need to make that foul. Absolutely no need to make the foul. He's going to be a lot of force, and I don't really think he's left the referee with any choice. But in the same breath, if that's a sending off, then Kent's been sent off as well. So all I ask for, right, see if they're going to be rubbish, which they are, be consistently rubbish for every club. Then that's it. Do you know what I mean? I feel that since VAR come in, they're letting VAR referee the match rather than them, and they don't really know what they're doing with it.
For me, Jason, I'm agreeing with you, mate. I think it's taking the control of the referee out of the game. It's taking the referee out of the game. It's meant to be there to help him. It's not there to decide what he's to do. I just feel now that if it goes to VAR, you're thinking, right, something's getting changed here. something's happening. It's not going to be just what the referee's given. You can't score a goal now without it getting checked. What happened 45 seconds before the goal, and is that a shy? Is that a foul? You can't. For me, Jason, right? I think football's finished. Like, the enjoyment of watching football now is just, it's finished. Because if you score a goal, you're celebrating, right? Do we need to wait 5 seconds or 5 minutes with the way this is going to decide whether we can celebrate a goal or what?
No, I know.
Do we need to wait a minute to decide if it's going to be a penalty to celebrate a penalty? Or for me, the way football's gone, Jason, in terms of everything to do with football, VR, the way fouls are getting gave, for me, you touch somebody now and it's a foul, and I'm thinking, yous are professional, strong, healthy athletes in Hoffley, even some Celtic players, but not just Kilmarnock or Aberdeen or Rangers, and they're falling down like sack of totties. I'm like, you're in the gym every day doing core work and muscle work, and you're, referees, push me. Gonna grow up. But you're an athlete.
Man.
Don't get me wrong, right? I'm maybe contradicting myself here, right? But when I played football, I would dive, right? Referees, push me, referee. But I wouldn't fall down like I've been hit by a sniper. Referee, my ankle. I'm like, mate, the fuck you heed know your ankle. Do you know what I mean? They're holding their leg, but yet they put their shoulder. It's crazy. But only VR, mate. The last bit for me, I'm like you. I just think it's not getting used properly. I don't know how they're not up to speed with it now. Surely when there's no games, they're maybe in studying at how to get better or doing more training on it. Like this is what we've done this weekend. How can we make that better? I don't know if they're doing that right, but it doesn't look it, because every week there's getting a decision made against us or against Rangers or against Aberdeen, whoever it is. But then the following week, it's only given out another game. But that home boy you said about St Mirren, I wish that would be Hearts. That's
ridiculous. Mate, see the thing is, right? See, going back to these handballs, some of the handballs that you're not getting shouldn't even be gone to VAR.
No, I know.
What? Do you know what I mean? Mate, I said that the day as well, and I've said that for a couple of weeks. Football is done.
Oh, it's finished?
It's completely... It's no football anymore. Do you know what I mean? And it's, like you said, you can't... When you score a goal, you don't know whether to celebrate or no. And you see the players are like that, should we celebrate or no? Do you know what I mean? And I see this and all. Why was VAR brought in halfway through a season? That I'll never understand that. It was pure rushed to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
They should just have waited till this season was finished and brought it in next season, or brought it in at the start of the season. But it was pure, no, we'll bring it in when the season's already started. Craziness. Can't work it out. Don't like it. I didn't really like it. I never really liked it. If it get used right, I would maybe like it. But even down in England, it doesn't get. They don't like it either. I mean, you've seen it on Match of the Day yesterday with that Rash, with the Man U with their equaliser. He's offside.
I know.
And it's a goal.
Like you say, mate, football's no football anymore.
See, for me, when I was getting into football, there was always that. What it made it was are they getting away with some of the goals that maybe won the goals, and that's how you won football matches. They're a wee bit offside and they didn't notice, and that was the good thing about it. Do you know what I mean?
Because you have the conversation. You have the conversation. Don't go wrong, right? You want the right decisions, and it might cost you leagues, it might cost you points, etc. Right? But that's what makes football. Me and you, JP, Barry, whoever, Robert, John, William, whoever it is you're talking to, see what happened in that game the weekend. Just say it's Tuesday. We're going out for something to eat. We're not going to talk about it, but that brings up a conversation. It's a conversation for you. It's a show. That's a part of football. We lost the game, but what about that? Why is that offside? Why is this? But see now, you're talking about VAR. Why did they no gear? Why did they gear? It's for me, Jason. It's totally changing it. But I know I don't want to talk too much about it, mate. But obviously, had to bring it up because it's happened at the weekend. But I don't think it's going to change, mate. If it's going to change, then brilliant, but I just can't see it, mate. But overall, for the weekend, mate, and obviously looking forward to the final as well. What's your last thoughts on the weekend and obviously the game in February?
Just happy to get that one out the road and get another final, and I think it's going to be a good final. I think, mate, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it now, but the night before I know because I'll be nervous. But I think it should be a good game. Hopefully the pitch gets sorted. But I'm just glad that we're there to defend the trophy, and hopefully we can bring it back to paradise and keep it where it belongs.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate, and I think as well that if we are still clearing the league by then, and we are in the Scottish Cup further on, and you do win that, then it kind of derails their season a wee bit, and it means that they'll need to put obviously all their eggs in one basket as well. So I feel that the eggs are going to be on this, because if they don't win this, then I think their season with Hugh Keevins we call imploding. I think if they don't beat us, then I think your season's just a bit of damn squib. Obviously, that's before if we've no dropped anything at Celtic and they're put the gap a bit forward. But I'm the same as you, mate. Just glad to get in our final. You can't. I'm sure is it no the last 6 or 7 finals I think Celtic been involved in, something like that. Also, that again, that's some record. So, brilliant record at Hampden recently. So again, hopefully we continue that. And I'm like you, mate. Another chance win, another bit of silverware at Celtic, which is obviously what we want as fans. So I do it for the fans as well. So hopefully we end up with a victory as well. But obviously the game on Wednesday, we'll chat about that during the week. But another game to get 3 points and keep your pressure on Rangers as well, because they've got a hard game away to Kilmarnock on that park after playing the extra time as well. So that will be a easy game for them as well. So in football, mate, know yourself. There's every day in football is different. Anything can happen. So tomorrow might wake up with Ivanovic and Giakoumakis away, or new deals. There's all sorts of stuff for Celtic we don't know about, mate. So we'll leave it for the night. But again, anybody who likes the content, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The wee bells on the page, wee red bell, please click that and you'll get any notifications when we go live or any videos we upload. If you don't know how to do that, just make a wee email account on Google, and you'll be set up for that. Myself and Jason are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and you can also get the page on TikTok as well. And we're all major platforms, Spotify, Apple, or other listening platform as well. But again, Jason, thanks for your help tonight, mate, to get through the night on a Sunday. But again, all the listeners as well, watchers, thanks for your time as well. Enjoy your rest of your night and your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Cheers, guys.
See you later on. Cheers.